Picture this. You just got a paycheck and the bill due tomorrow. You wonder if the money should go to a loan or grow in savings. My name is Noba, and I spend way too much time thinking about the rule of 6%. If you're someone who has a mix of debt and a growing savings account, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. So why is 6% the number people keep talking about? The rule basically compares your debt interest rate to your potential investment return. For example, most credit card debt sits around 18% April. Meanwhile, a typical index fund returns about 7% annually. If your debt rate is higher than 7%, paying it off seems smarter. But if your debt rate is lower than your expected return, investing wins. That's the core of the rule of 6%. Let's dive into why the brain reacts to interest rates. First, the mental cost of debt feels urgent and scary. Second, the promise of growth feels abstract and distant. These biases make us choose debt payoff more often than we should. Now let's talk numbers to fight the bias. Take a $5,000 balance at 18% interest. The monthly payment on 18% for a 2-year payoff is about $300. That means you'll pay roughly $7,200 over 2 years. Now if you invest that $5,000 at 7% annually, it grows to about $6,200 in 2 years. So you lose $1,000 extra by paying debt faster in this case. But if your debt rate is 4%, paying it off wins again, because the 4% cost is less than the 7% growth you miss. So the rule of 6% is just a guideline, not a hard law. You need to calculate your own numbers first. Step 1. Find your debt's annual interest rate. Step 2. Estimate your expected return on investment. Step 3. Compare the two numbers side by side. If the debt rate is higher, pay it off first. If the investment return is higher, invest first. But remember, rates change over time. You should revisit your strategy yearly at least. Let's talk about risk tolerance next. If you're risk-averse, you might lean toward debt payoff. If you can tolerate volatility, you might invest instead. Now, let's look at liquidity needs. If you don't have a 3-month emergency fund, saving is essential. In that case, put money into a high-yield savings first. After the emergency fund, tackle the higher-rate debt. If you're already safe, you can choose the better return. Let's bring in taxes now. Interest payments are tax-deductible on some loans, but investment gains are taxed unless in a tax-advantaged account. So a 7% return in a Roth IRA feels like 7% net after taxes. If you're in a traditional 401, it's 7% before taxes. That changes the payoff versus invest decision a bit. Next, let's compare student loan debt. Student loans usually have lower rates than credit cards, so it often makes sense to pay credit cards first. But if you have a 0% promotional rate, consider investing. You can use the time to earn more than 0% anyway. Let's talk hybrid strategies now. Allocate 70% of extra cash to debt, 30% to growth. Adjust the split as your debt shrinks and rates change. Use the debt snowball method to build momentum. Use the debt avalanche method to save interest. Compare the outcomes to find your sweet spot. Automation makes this process painless. Set up auto payments for your debt first. Set up auto investments in a brokerage account. Use budgeting apps to track both streams. Let me share a quick example from my own life. I had a 15% credit card and a 5% savings account. I first paid the credit card until it was 0. Then I redirected the money to a 7% ETF. Over 5 years, I saved $2,000 more than if I had kept the card. That's the kind of win you can aim for. But don't ignore taxes or penalties in this story. Late fee interest can push the cost higher. That's why a solid budget matters. Avoid the common mistake of treating debt as a savings account. Debt reduces your net worth, not increases it. Don't let the fear of missing out drive you to overspend.